We moved here when I was pregnant. I was 7 weeks pregnant. And then one day I had went and got my 23-week MFM check. Everything was great. And then 2 days later, I was sitting on my couch and I thought, oh, I must be having Braxton Hicks. I somehow managed to walk to the garage where Dad was. So we got in the car and came to BAMC. They had me on the bed, and I had the nurse over here telling me everything's going to be okay. I had the doctor telling me, he's breech. We're going to have to C-section. And I had the neonatologist. Here's what your statistics are. Do you want to resuscitate? And I said, yeah. After all of the getting to, the operating room and doing the C-section, we heard Tyler cry. And I said, everything's gonna be okay. I looked at Dad and said, he's gonna be okay. But that next day, it was hard. It was hard. It was hard to see him. And from there, we started the countdown. 446 days. Hard. So. The first time I got to hold him, it was 32 days after he was born. He wasn't having it that day. He said, no, not today, Mom. So I said, okay. So the whole NICU, like everybody in the NICU, all the doctors, all the nurses, all the RTs, everybody was in there. And I got to hold him. Something in my heart, I guess, and my gut just said, things are gonna be okay, just have patience. As the days progressed, we had some really bad days where we didn't think he was gonna make it. So when we hit milestones, everybody celebrated. It wasn't just Mom and Dad, it was everybody, and being able to come off the vent was so huge because we never thought he would be able to, at least for the time being. He eventually wound up back on it on full life support. And it was 10:30 at night. And it was the PA up in the PICU. And she said, we've been doing CPR for 12 minutes. Do you want us to continue? And all I could hear in the background was, come on, Tyler. Come on, Tyler. You've come too far, Tyler. And I said yes, and I headed to the hospital. And 2 days later, he came out of it like it was nothing. Like it didn't even faze him. That's what the NICU was like. You get to the top, and then shoo, you go back down. And then you get to the top. A roller coaster is such an understatement. But it's the ride and how you ride it. And that was Tyler. He would always look at me, and I'm just, okay, we're gonna do this. We get home and it was surreal because nobody, including myself and Dad, thought he was gonna ever come home. It was kind of chaotic, We were like, okay, we have all this equipment. We had a ventilator and suction machine and oxygen tanks and pulse oxes and ostomy bags and supplies everywhere. And it was definitely scary. We were used to having the hospital staff. I'm scared.
1, 2, 3. Good job. That's kind of it.
That's it.
Yay! Woo!
You did. He doesn't have a trach anymore. He got his trach out on March 1st of 2023. He is walking, talking, eating, he's spelling, he's counting. He started running one day down the hallway in the house, and I almost fell to the floor because he was running. He has low-tone cerebral palsy, but you can't tell. And I always told him in the NICU, I'm gonna take you swimming one day. And he loves the pool. And he started preschool this year. which was amazing. It was amazing for him. He just took off.
You got it, Bubby. Good job.
He'll skip the last 3 there. I was like, he'll skip the last 2 steps.
Good job.
I could not have survived the NICU without them. While they were saving my son's life, they were saving mine. Because every day I would walk in there, I'd have to put on a mask. I'd have to put on a face. And then I'd get in my car and I'd sit there for 30 or 40 minutes before I even left and let it all out. And I counted the happies with them. And every hug, every time they pulled me up, they reminded me that life is it's more precious. The doctors, I can't even, they're amazing. They are amazing human beings. The nurses, they are my heart. They are my heart. Because the way they cared for my son, and not even my son, I watched them care for other kids. I've never seen so many people in one room with so much heart. And they were tired. They were tired. They were just pushing through every single day. It was like watching a whole army rush to the battlefield with full armor on and put on this just amazing display of love. They are the reason that my son is alive today and doing so well. And even when it seemed impossible, they made it possible.